Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna send you the click. It's gonna be on 13, and then you're gonna have me on 14 and the guitar on 11 and 12.
My name is Mary Ruane. I'm a senior here in the audio tech department. I have been working in music and songwriting for as long as I can remember. My mom told me that I used to just sit at the kitchen table and do my math homework and be singing songs about 2 plus 2, just as I was doing it. But I didn't start working on writing the music until around 7th or 8th grade because I bought a ukulele and I was like, oh, you need music to go with words if you want to make a song. And then I started teaching myself music theory. I think I get different lessons from different things. There's a certain impact that the music I grew up around has, in a sense that it comes with nostalgia. And then when I write and I'm feeling nostalgic, I go to the things that I associate with nostalgia. My father is a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, and I would be sitting in the back seat of his truck as he would drive me to practice and things. My dad would sing to me and look at me through the rear view mirror, and that's just a really fond memory. I don't know. That's also Springsteen's storytelling has had a huge impact on how I write. I also used to Irish dance, and my family is insanely Irish, so a lot of Irish music as well. Celtic and Scottish folk is the foundation. Just the lyricism, if you think about how Hosier's lyrics are, it's so much more poetic. Same thing with most Irish songs. Their language is just much more poetic. Everything he does feels like a hug, and I try to write songs that calm me down. So listening to songs that feel like a hug, it's by dissecting that and learning from that kind of music, I can kind of figure out how to make it myself. But there's also I don't know, I love the Strokes, and they have the same formula for every song. Intro, verse, chorus, bridge with the guitar solo, chorus, and then it's done. Every single song, and it works every single time. And then there's the same, just as a musician, this fascination of how does it work every single time if they're doing the same thing and it's not getting boring. I started getting into the technology side of it halfway through high school because I had been writing all of these songs, and I was like, okay, but now where is it gonna go? Where I'm from, there aren't a ton of live music venues. There are in Chicago. I'm not too far from Chicago, but as 14 or 15, they weren't gonna let me go perform at bars. So I was like, I have to capture it somehow. And then I bought a little MIDI keyboard, and I convinced my parents to let me get a new laptop that could have DAWs on it, and I could start doing audio editing. Going into it, I knew that there's a big gender disparity. I don't think until college I was aware of how it feels. I still feel pretty lucky to be here because this school is trying hard to make it better, but at the same time there's a limit on that, and it's not my responsibility, and it's not my professor's responsibility to teach my peers how to be men or how to be respectful. I don't always think it's an explicitly sexist thing. Just a general sense of entitlement from a lot of the men in the department. They just generally feel entitled to this space because 10 of the 12 students in the class are men. And I don't think they always understand how intimidating that can be to be one of two, sometimes the only woman in the class. I just kind of felt I had to work 100 times harder than they were to get the same sort of recognition. And I do think it's true. I am the president of Audio Engineering Society. I'm on the e-board for Women in Audio. I TA 2 classes. I am in constant contact with my professors. And I feel in terms of my peers, it's they're just starting to realize that I know what I'm doing. And I'm okay, well, I've known, but I just needed to have titles to get them to acknowledge it. Also, this environment is so dependent on like vibes. Studio lighting and how you treat your artist and the vibes that you create is essential just to the psychology of the musician. And that makes for a lack of professionalism, which makes room for ignoring people that are minorities in the room or saying things that are really out of pocket and just not acceptable because it's like, oh, well, we're joking around and that's just the vibe that we have. Club meetings for women in audio is like the safest place. You could just ask any question. No one's gonna look at you like you're stupid. Nobody's gonna be like, what the heck, like get them off the console. Or like, I've had people take cables out of my hand. I've had people take mics out of my hand. That would never happen in a women in audio meeting. That club is so essential to any woman in this department or any non-binary person in this department, especially because the men in the classes can get like controlling at times. There's this general feeling of insecurity among women and non-binary people that you feel so insecure about suggesting things or making creative decisions because you're surrounded by mostly men who are making suggestions like their opinion is like the gospel truth. And it's not the gospel truth and they don't actually know what they're doing, but they just come across so entitled that it's really intimidating. You know, the camaraderie there is like very empowering. Like we're all just building each other up the whole time. We're all just joking the whole time. I minor in music and the people that I feel most connected with musically are people that are in both departments. I think there's like this shared understanding of people that are in both, like, okay, I need to have an understanding of the thing I'm trying to make before I make the thing. There's only so much that the tech side can do. If the song is not a good composition or the musicians are not good musicians, it doesn't matter really what we do with the tech side. Can't breathe life into it. It's like I feel like people that understand that, I like the things they make most. People that can do both, that's the dream. People like Jack Antonoff, it's like you are helping so many iconic artists make their products. Him doing folklore with Taylor Swift is a work of art, but then he also is his own successful touring musician. That's like the dream. I hope there are more women in it. It's kind of sad to see so few women in live sound and recording studios. Even still, like even there are so many female musicians, but they're still the product. Like Taylor Swift is a genius for like writing all the things she's written and she's behind everything she's made. Like she makes it, but people still are like, oh, it's just a cash grab. Like, oh, it's just this. Like, and that sort of demeaning view of it that centers her as a product versus an artist. And I would like to see that change. That goes for music too.